Do you want to close 7-figure B2B deals? Then you need to stop selling. You've heard the usual advice. Perfect your pitch, nail your prospecting, master closing techniques. But focusing only on tactics is why most people fail to land the biggest clients. The secret isn't the tactic. It's a fundamental shift in how you approach the conversation. And it's built on one shocking habit that a study of 2 million sales calls revealed that every top performer shares. I saw the power of this firsthand in a single meeting that changed how I view sales forever. Me and my business partner, let's call him David, were in a meeting with a CEO. He was convinced he needed a new state-of-the-art CRM. He spent a solid 20 minutes listing features, a list a mile long. I was getting ready to jump in and pitch how our product met every single need. When the CEO finally finished, David leaned forward and asked one simple question to cut through all the noise. If we get you the perfect CRM with every feature you just listed, what problem does that really solve for you? There was this long, uncomfortable pause. Then the CEO admitted his revenue was unpredictable. He was terrified of his next board meeting. He didn't need a CRM, he needed stability. That single moment of vulnerability, not a sales pitch, is what landed that massive deal. That moment is the perfect example of the first step from David's playbook. Find a human problem behind the business problem. The competitor sells CRMs, but David was solving the fear of a bad board meeting. But how did he do it? It wasn't just one question that he asked. It was the space he created by doing something most salespeople are terrified to do. Shut up. This is the key to unlocking those human problems. But you might be thinking, sure, that worked for David, but that's just one story. So what if I told you this wasn't just a one-off? What if this exact behavior has been proven by data on a massive scale to be the single biggest predictor of sales success? A groundbreaking study by Gong.io analyzed over 2 million sales calls to find the secret sauce of the top 1%. And what they found is that the single biggest predictor of success wasn't a closing line or a fancy pitch. It was the talk to listen ratio. The top performing salespeople, the ones closing the biggest deals, spoke only 43% of the time. The best sellers talk less than their prospects. This is the second step and is the engine that drives the first. Master active listening. While the average salesperson is just waiting for their turn to talk, the elite like David are listening for what isn't being said. The pause before an answer, the way they avoid a question. These are the signs of what they're really worried about. By talking less, you create the space for the real problem to surface. You stop pitching features and you start hearing fears. You ask deeper questions like, what keeps you up at night regarding your business growth? Or, if we're sitting here in 12 months, what would need to happen for you to be happy with your progress? And you actually listen to the answer. Okay, so you're asking brilliant questions and listening intently. You've uncovered the real problem. But what happens when you realize your solution isn't the right fit for them right now? Most salespeople would panic, but David, he used a move that sounds like a career killer to turn this exact moment into a masterclass on building unbreakable trust. So what was this seemingly career-ending move? In a meeting with a potential 7-figure client, David realized our solution wasn't the right fit for their immediate problem. So he stopped the pitch. He recommended a competitor's cheaper tool for the short term and mapped out a 12-month plan for when our solution would make the most sense. The client was stunned. They signed a retainer with him for strategic advice on the spot. And 12 months later, David still got the deal. That's the third step. Become the expert they trust. He proved he was a trusted advisor, not just a salesperson, earning trust that a pitch never could. Before we continue, if you're finding this helpful, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. It really helps the algorithm understand that this content is valuable and should be shown to more people who need to see it. And while you're at it, make sure you're subscribed because I'm constantly creating content to help you build unbreakable trust and close bigger deals. But thinking that that first sale or even the delayed one is the finish line is the single most costly mistake you can make. In fact, the data shows that what you do after the deal is signed can boost your profits by up to 95%. According to Bain & Company, increasing customer retention by just 5% can boost profits by anywhere from 25% to a staggering 95%. Yet, most sales teams are only obsessed with hunting for new customers. This led to David's fourth step, a focus on the long-term relationship, not the short-term sale. He knew the real money isn't in finding new customers, it's in keeping the ones you have. Trust leads to loyalty, which creates predictable income and, more importantly, turns your loyal clients into your best salespeople through high-quality referrals. So by now, I assume you understand the value of long-term relationships. But this brings up a critical question that paralyzes most people. How do you stay in touch and build that relationship without becoming an annoying pest? The answer lies in a simple rule that separates the pros from the amateurs, and it's the final piece of David's playbook. Consider this: 80% of major B2B deals are closed after the 5th contact, but nearly half of all salespeople give up after the first follow-up. The line between professional and pest is crossed not by following up, but by following up with no value. Mastering this was his final step: follow up with something useful. He never sent generic just checking in emails. Each message was a direct response to their needs. Did they mention a challenge? He'd send an article about it. Did they raise a question? He'd provide a detailed answer. He consistently proved he cared about their success, not just his commission. This is how you stop selling and start closing 7-figure deals. That story about David's single question reminds me. I'm curious, have you ever had a moment like that in your own career? A time where one simple question completely changed the direction of the conversation? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your story.